Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folashade. The political season is really hotting up. As you know, there was a major event yesterday on the political horizon talking about the APC Women's Presidential Campaign team. That was inaugurated. It's headed up by First Lady Aisha Buhari. And as you know, the president has said that in his tenure, in his experience, women have been his most valuable, trusted, and loyal assets. And he's asked them to, transfer all of this onto the APC presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, we'll talk with those ladies this morning. Well, some of them, particularly the organizers. In studio here with me is Kafilat Ogbara. She's the APC candidate for Koshofia constituency in the House of Representatives, former commissioner, Lagos State Audit Service Commission, and is a women's rights activist as well. Thank you very much for coming on, Ajia.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed, our pleasure. Good morning. And we also have with us Senator Grace Folashade Bent. Senator Bent is the first female elected from northern Nigeria, and thereby breaking a trend. She's elected from Adamawa State. She herself is a Yoruba lady from Ilesha, if I got it right, but she'll correct me if I was wrong. A fine morning to you, Senator.
Good morning, Yori. Nice having me here.
Okay, so I got that part right because I didn't notice any corrections.
Yeah, I'm the first female senator from the Northeast geopolitical zone and from northern Nigeria based on marital affiliation.
Exactly.
So you're right.
Yes. So we're delighted to have you. Okay, let's jump straight into it. Let me start with you, if I may, Senator. Well, you achieved that feat, on the ticket of PDP, but now you've picked up the ticket for APC. And the president was saying that women have been his most loyal and dependable supporters. Talk to me about how that how you take that and whether that raises the bar. Women have always been known to be invaluable in these kind of operations. Talk to me about the role of women in politics.
Thank you very much, Yori. I think we will be playing a great disservice to the women folk, not just in Nigeria, but across the world, if we do not attach the kind of importance that is meant to be attached to the role that women often play in politics, in decision-making process, in policy making, and in governance. We have remained the most constant decimal in any political setting or in any democratic experience. When a woman stands to support any policy or any decision made by any government, you can just go home and sleep, and you know that such policies will be driven to a logical conclusion. Because we are extremely reliable. We are extremely focused when we are in office. A lot of women who go into politics, you see that the office really does not make them. They make the office. And, compared with their male counterparts. So the role of women in politics has not yet been completely become a thing that has taking the grip in our political experiment in Nigeria. Women are still remaining at the background. Women are still seen as a nuisance. Women are still seen as, belonging to the other room, and so on and so forth. If you look at the last primary elections of APC, like the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs rightly mentioned yesterday, it was really a very bad outing for the women, for the female folks. And you don't blame anybody but the political parties, because most of our political parties have not yet, captured and allowed it to, sink in their psyche, what they are losing, tremendous goodwill that they are losing by not allowing women to, as it were, take prominent positions when it comes to elective positions.
Okay.
The National Assembly, in the next dispensation, you will be very shocked that the percentage is going to drop very, very badly compared to what they had in 2019, because very few women have been able to scale through, have been allowed to scale through their primaries. So there are still fundamental issues. I think the political parties are still playing lip service to the issue of women participation in politics.
Okay.
We are not there. We're not there, and we're still crawling.
You're not where you want to be yet. Yet.
Not where we want to be, where the world wants the women to be. There's a paradigm shift. It's not just about Nigeria. Nigeria is sitting on the fence and watching, and other countries are already, changing their political fixation. They don't longer put women at the background. They are the ones that will beg the women, please come. When they see a sound, articulate, and capable woman that can handle issues. Advanced countries are already taking the bulls by the horns, and they are allowing them to take their proper place. Nigeria is not doing the same. I'm afraid to tell you that.
Okay. Let me hear from your fellow party member, Kafilat Ogbara. She's the APC candidate. By the way, I should say that you are looking to get the senatorial. You already have the senatorial ticket of the party, but you're going to be the senator for Adamawa South, which is also the region that.
That is a problem we have we're still in court as we speak today, because.
Tell me about that. When you say we're still in court.
Yeah.
In terms of your ticket with APC.
The primary, yes, the primary election, which was not we were 6 aspirants that participated in that primaries. But to our consternation, the electoral panel, for whatever reason, decided to go run the primaries with just one of the aspirants, only one aspirant, and went ahead to declare the aspirant as the winner out of 6. So the 5 remaining aspirants, which I am one, have taken the matter to court, because it was a huge slap on our face for the party to allow this criminal activity, this sad development to scale through, and the name of that person submitted to INEC. So we're still in court to challenge, yes, we've gone to court to challenge this anomaly, this very, very unfortunate development. We seem to have lost it. So the ticket is still not mine yet, because we've gone to court.
Okay.
And we're waiting for the court judgment. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that update. But still, any way you look at it, when it comes to the politics of Adamawa South, you are a woman of substance, and that is what is out there. By the
grace of God. Thank you.
Okay, let me speak to your colleague, your fellow party member, Kafilat Ogbara. As I was just saying, she is a former commissioner in the Lagos State Audit Service Commission, and you also have been a women's rights activist. You've not given up on this quest, because you've been in the trenches, so to speak, of politics. But this time around, you're election at the primaries doesn't have any issues.
No.
Now, the whole question about the role of women, the importance of women, as Senator Bent was saying, that we don't seem to have got it yet, what we're missing out on in the Nigerian polity by women not being, when I said where they need to be, where they would like to be, the senator said, well, it's going beyond where we need to be. It's about, look, it's about the natural order of things. What would you like to add to that?
Well, the internationally agreed target and standard by the Beijing affirmative action is that women must have equal participation in politics and, of course, in power sharing, in elective, in appointive positions, just like the male counterparts. And, of course, the reality here in Nigeria is that we are way below the target because most of the time we find out that a lot of women are not being encouraged to participate in politics. Women participation normally in political activities, you see that even when you go to attend political meetings, more women are there. But when it comes to the benefits of the political activities, the men take the whole of the table. You don't find any woman at the table. So this is a problem that we are facing in this country, and we are trying very, very hard to ensure that we continue to encourage our women not to give up. Just like our leader said yesterday, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at the women wing, the inauguration of the women wing of the campaign team, eminently
led by the
first lady of the country. I want to commend her, Aisha Buhari, and of course the wife of our flag bearer, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and the wife of the vice presidential candidate, Ajia Nana Shetima, for putting up such a laudable program. I have been in political terrain for a while, and I've never seen anything like such in this country, because most of the time the men want to take the center stage, and you can see that our women this time around, we have even beat the council to it, because we are ready to take the bull by the horn. We are ready to go all out. Like the national woman leader also urged all the participants yesterday that go out there and ensure that you go from door to door, house to house, shop to shop, person to person, to campaign for our leader and our presidential candidates of APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and all the APC candidates, so that we can win the next coming election in 2023. And like I was saying about the gender parity, you find out that most of the time when women hold political offices, even from research, we know that when women are politically empowered, we find out that things are better off in such areas. In terms of the dividends of democracy, they are more responsive to citizen needs, and they also work across party lines excellently well, because women, we see ourselves as one, irrespective of the political affiliation or wherever we find ourselves. So this is very, very important in, achieving the global goals as well. You find out that from the global goals, from the sustainable development goals, the number 5 goal that the world wants to achieve is to ensure that we have gender equality. When women are not empowered, there is no way we can achieve most of these global goals. The first one being zero, trying to eradicate poverty, trying to ensure that there is zero hunger, health issues and all that. It is only when women are properly positioned that things like this can be achieved. A woman, for instance, in a home, you find out that she's the one that takes care of the home, that takes care of you, even our husbands, takes care of the children. And it is what we inculcate in these children that makes the society. So once a woman is properly empowered, we find out that the home is cool. And when the home is cool, the society at large generally becomes a better place for everybody to live. So the moment we agree and we realize that it's only when women are properly positioned that we can have a better society, that is the only way to go. Okay. And you also find out that the last program that we had in Lagos State, the WAPA Connect, where Governor Sanwo-Olu, you see him emphatically stating that Lagos State has realized and they are on it, and that is the way they do their thing, ensuring that women are properly positioned. Even in the empowerment programs that they do, they ensure that over 60% of whatever they do, women are the beneficiaries. And you find out that Lagos State, is better for it, and we are looking up to having more of that in the next 4 years.
So there's a sense in which, as you've just said, the situation vis-a-vis gender parity is what it is, but APC, has always been a cut apart when it comes to empowering women. I hear that, there's a lot more that...
Even from our presidential candidate's resume, you find out that he is a man that is very gender sensitive. His wife, he was able to support. He started from home. He was able to support his wife to be a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 3 times. Yes. You know what that means?
Indeed.
It means he's, and even in Lagos State, most of the time we have female deputy governors, except very, exceptional cases.
So that's the sense in which APC, is a cut apart. Yeah. Senator, coming back to you, you were one of the organizers of this important women-led, the Women Presidential Campaign Team that was inaugurated yesterday under the headship of Aisha Buhari, distinguished First Lady of the Republic. How challenging was that, as because I've just heard in studio here that women can work across any divide, most divides, because the women, it's really, they see themselves as one. Tell me, how challenging was it getting the forces together, so to speak, of women folk?
For the records, Yori, I am not one of the organizers. This very successful outing we had yesterday, and the gathering of very eminent female politicians across Nigeria was and is still the brainchild of the mother of the nation, First Lady Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and Senator Tinubu, and Mr. Shetima. These are the 3
the main organizers,
women that put together what we had yesterday. It was driven by the First Lady, the mother of the nation, who has always been consistently in touch and in tune with the plight of the women in Nigeria when it comes to political participation. I am one of the beneficiaries of Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari's magnanimity in supporting women in politics. I'm talking about this current political dispensation. She led a few of us women to the national secretariat of the party to sit down with the national chairman, Senator Abdullah Adamo, and to, express our worries and fear about the non-inclusion of women in politics. So you could see a consistency. She dreams it, she lives it, and Mrs. Aisha Buhari is so worried and wants to leave a legacy, of consistency in wanting women at the driver's seat in political activities. You saw how she led women to the National Assembly to appeal to the men, the legislators, both in the Senate and the lower chambers, on why they should allow some of those bills, those very, very important bills, to skate through. And she did this. I mean, that was unprecedented. So Mrs. Buhari did that, and you could see the success we achieved yesterday. Our Women Wing is the first to be inaugurated, the Presidential Campaign Council. And that was why you saw our presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was so excited yesterday. And you could see from his expressions and his pronouncement yesterday that he now has a very veritable platform for him to depend on. And you saw from the speech of Professor Gambari, who represented His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, on how he said women have been the most supportive and the most loyal gender that have, been with him. So if you look at all this recurring decimal, you will understand that Nigeria is losing, and Nigeria is putting herself at the back bench, by not really quickly, running to capture this opportunity so that it doesn't slip out of their hands. So what Mrs. Buhari has done yesterday is to, against all odds, put those women together, and we are ready to hit the ground running for Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, because you know that by INEC statistics, over 50% of the voting population of Nigeria is the female gender, and that is very instructive. If over 50% of the voting population is the female, then Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu was not wrong to have said yesterday that he now knows who he can depend on. And really, the women are going to be his major pillar in this forthcoming election. Because once women say they are with you, they are with you. They don't, they go all out to make sure they work for you. You can close your eyes and go to sleep. And that is what we're supposed to do. Yes.
I like that line, that once women say they are with you, they are with you.
No, you cannot negotiate that. I remember late President Gaddafi of Libya. One of the times he visited Nigeria, I saw that most of the security team were ladies, women in their military. Yes, female soldiers in their military outfit. That was mind-blowing.
All right.
And I wondered, I said, wow, this man has surrounded himself with women. And that is very, very, that is instructive. If your security can be all women, then you know that if Nigeria wants to take a place in the Committee of Nations, it is high time, Nigeria begin to look inward and change this narrative. And our incoming president, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, by the grace of God, has assured the women that he is going to make sure he implements at least the 40% affirmative action. And I heard a woman say it yesterday that they are going to go, an extra mile to plead with Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu by the time he gets sworn in, that he should increase it to 50. There's nothing wrong with having a 50-50 thing. Just like you have in places like Rwanda, in Malawi, you have the zebra kind of policy. In Malawi, for example, is the zebra kind of a thing. You have a man here, you have a woman here, you have a man here now. And it's not about competition. It's about the positioning our country.
Let me... maybe in case anybody missed it for whatever reason, but it was broadcast nationally, let's look at proceedings at yesterday's event of the inauguration, and then we'll come back to our studio.
They have come from across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. They are here to rally behind their presidential standard bearer, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his running mate, Kashim Shettima. These women are so determined in delivering victory to the All Progressives Congress in the forthcoming general election. They said they cannot afford to lose, but work together as a formidable force to achieve success in 2023. The National Gender Policy has formulated the 35% affirmative action since 2006. It demands that 35% of women be involved in all governance process. This has, however, never been fully actualized in Nigeria. The Nigeria's First Lady and the Grand Patron of the Tinubu Shettima Presidential Women Team, Aisha Buhari, and the chairman of the team, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, have been fighting for the cause of women and have been at the forefront of the 35% affirmative action. Now, with the Tinubu Shettima ticket, this gender equality policy is expected to get more attention.
Permit me to voice out our concern for the progressive decline in the involvement and participation of women in elective and appointive positions at all the 3 tiers of government. Our clamor and cries over the years has remained unattended to, especially at the level of legislative arms of government. We have no option than to sign a compact with Nigerian women that will spell out the good policies of the party towards women for documentation and follow-up purposes.
Let us tell our women that the Tinubu Shetima ticket is the best option for them because the track records of both men show that they are gender sensitive and committed to uplifting the Nigerian woman. With these two men at the helm of affairs, Nigerian women can rest assured that their interests will be protected and their rights safeguarded. Not only that, you can also count on Ajia Nana Shetima and I as your partners for progress.
For the city boy, the long-awaited Nigeria's dream has come. The new hope is here. Hope of a better economy, constant electricity, and impregnable security of lives and property, among others.
Let me just tear off a little bit and give solace. Pray to God Almighty to console those who suffer some disasters across the country in flooding, those who might have lost their lives, and many of them that are in hospital. To you, the people, and particularly the women gathered here today, let me say one thing. Help is here. Hope is here. Assurance is here. Promise is here. Prosperity is here. Health is here. Security is here. Banditry has ended. Tell them you are following the man who knows the way.
Representing President Muhammadu Buhari, the Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, who inaugurated the team, says no doubt that level playing field will be provided for the women. Tinubu Shetima ticket is a project these women will follow through. He said it's a victory they have already won.
Okay, that's the reports of the coverage of yesterday's event, the Aisha Buhari-led Women's Presidential Campaign team inauguration yesterday. We're going a quick break now. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back, and when we do come back, we'll include your calls as well. Okay, welcome back, and we're looking at, yesterday's event. It's an important stage, talking about the, presidential campaign team, the headed up by Aisha Buhari and women of substance all over the country. And you also saw, there, the APC presidential candidate for the, speaking for the Tinubu Shetima ticket. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was saying, in his own enigmatic way of phraseology, a number of here's, help is here, hope is here, assurance is here, prosperity is here, health is here, security is here, and it was quite inspiring. And I don't know, Alaja Ogbara.
Well, immediately I heard that yesterday, I knew that we were getting to where we were going to. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not only speaking to the crowd, he was speaking to Nigerians.
Indeed.
And the first thing he said was, help is here.
That's right.
If you're looking for anyone in this country today that is a helper of man, helper of men of means themselves, helper of political class, helper of the low class, he has a very, very passionate, attitude towards the less privileged. And he's very, very passionate about that. We know that if Asiwaju is talking about help, he's here to help Nigeria. He said hope is here. If there's any hope that Nigerians need today, it is hope from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a better Nigeria. He said prosperity is here. We are all hoping that by the grace of God, Nigeria will prosper more than this. We have all seen what has happened in Lagos State. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not just talk. We can, witness to that. We can certify to that. We can speak to it because we have experienced it. We know that when he says anything, he does it. He doesn't just talk, because what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has always wanted was just an opportunity to serve this country. If you remember, we found out that, I know Nigerians, we forget things so easily. We know what was happening at the Bar Beach initially before, where we thought, probably the water was going to, engulf the whole place and then create a nuisance, a problem, and all that.
Surges.
It was becoming, a problem for Lagos State. And then Asiwaju turned that liability into assets. You can see what has happened there today with Eco Atlantic. If you get there today, you find out that you will even think you are not even in this country at all.
Okay.
A man like that,
that's
that
an
can
example.
turn, is a very, 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 very table example. You also find out that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his own initiative, today we have 37 LCDAs and 20 local governments. This is the only place where that is happening in this country, because he thought in his own initiative that the dividends of democracy should go down to the lowest level at the grassroots. And if you ask Lagosians today, they will tell you that they can feel the dividends of democracy closer to them in Lagos State. You also find out that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, initially when we still have the problem of power in Nigeria, but you find out that he was the one that had the initiative of this Aaron, a private power holding company, to come and, support and help with the power situation of the country. And you know what happened then. And I am very sure the opportunity that he's waiting for today is to have the whole authority with the National Assembly, with all the relevant agencies, whatever barrier that can be blocking our power problem. I tell you, Asiwaju is a barrier breaker.
Okay.
He will ensure that whatever needs to be done by law and by whatever political means and political will, he will ensure that whatever he needs to do, he does it, to ensure that Nigeria has the best
all right. Before I cross, indeed, thank you. Before I cross over to Senator, Grace Folashade Bent, Mazi Okoroafa has called in. Good morning, Mazi.
Good morning, Sajori. Good morning, I guess, Senator Andres.
Indeed.
There is need for our women because they have the numbers, they have the figures, and they have the strength. Although many of them will say that this issue of nocturnal meeting is always a barrier with the husband and the rest. But let's keep that one aside. I want our women, at least, to have a program between now and 2023 that at least they are short of 35%. It will help so that by 2007, we'll be hoping for vice president as a female. Now, states should try as much as possible. I think, is it Adamawa or Yoruba? It's one of these states. They say they have a female as a potential gubernatorial candidate. If I would suggest, if the women within other states can still help in terms of campaigning for that very lady, at least to come on board as a governor of a state, it will now be an eye-opener to what I call it. There is no place or any environment or any situation, any office where you see a woman at the head that is not progressive. But I want to find out from our guests that this issue of PhD among our women, how do we stop it? Because
the issue of say that again, Mazi. The issue of
the issue of PhD pulled him down syndrome.
Oh, PhD.
Pull her down.
Oh, pull her down syndrome. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Pull her down syndrome.
Okay, Mazi. Thank you very much for calling in, as always, Mazi. Okay, coming over to you, Grace Folashade Bent. You heard him. You heard him. But before he brought that up, I was going to ask you to, when Asiwaju in that clip there, he said he virtually spoke about his entire program. Help is here, hope is here, assurance is here, prosperity is here, health is here, security is here, and there's even one or two that I missed out. Would you like to comment on that and also take on Mazi's concern about women not being their own best friends when it comes to working together?
Thank you very much, Yori. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu pronouncements yesterday were more prophetic than political, because on average Nigerian who understands the plight of the downtrodden and the less privileged will know that this is a man talking from the deeper part of his bowels, and compassionate about the situation that is on ground as of today. And I said it very, very unequivocally yesterday that women must go out as natural mobilizers, as natural vote canvassers to send a very good product. And what is that product? Our political product now is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I said that this product, because you see, Nigerians must understand, the electorates must know that we don't talk about, you see, a person is just using a platform to contest the election. Nigerians must look at that person. Look at that product. Yes, container is good. The container carrying the product. But invariably, when you open that container, that bottle that is housing that product, which is your end product, which is what you're taking in, I think that should be your major concern. Who is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? That's our product. This is a product that has stood the test of time. This is a product that is very resilient. This is a product that is very cerebral, a product that is sound. His brain, his mind is agile. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has his blueprint that is ready to dish out to Nigeria is unprecedented. He is actually living in that blueprint so that he can begin to implement it once it's sworn in. So all that he said yesterday were actually prophetic. And a new hope for Nigeria is just around the corner, a new dawn. And Nigerians should see this product as the product that is ready to really rescue them, And that is why I said to the women, I told them yesterday, look, this time around, it is Operation Deliver Your Polling Unit. We as women, it's not just about coming to Abuja to talk. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, like it's known to everybody, is an extremely gender-sensitive person. So there's no cause for concern, for the women folk. They should just know that the only thing they can do for themselves is ensure that our candidate wins this election.
Emerges.
Apart from that, yes, and he emerges as the president. There's no doubt about it that this product has goodwill all across the world, all across the country, the 6 geopolitical zones of this country. And coming to what Mazi said the PhD thing. Well, the pull her down syndrome is not just a phenomenon with among the women folks. It happens among the men too. It is just because it's not very pronounced among the men, because the men have always had their ways of getting things they want within the political circle. If the men disregard the pull her down syndrome. Even if a woman comes to pull another woman down for any reasons, if she has been, nominated for any position, in both at the appointive level, I think the men will do the women good by ignoring such counsel from any woman that has that disease of pulling other women down. It's a disease because there's no reason why women should begin to. Yeah, it's a disease.
It happens.
It's a mental disorder. It's jealousy, it's envy, and such women should go for counseling and therapy. You don't have any. What do you gain by pulling a woman down? You don't. It's women that indulge in such acts must speak to themselves. But it's not something that is peculiar to women alone. That's what I want Mazi to know.
All right, then.
And I assure you that with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming on board as our president by the grace of God Almighty, what you wish, Mazi wants a woman to emerge as a vice presidential candidate in 2027, and I'm optimistic that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu would make this happen for the Nigerian women by the grace of God.
All right then. Okay. Now, Kafila, I was going to ask you if what Mazi had said was a stereotype, but then before getting to you, she has already said it. Grace has already said that it exists.
It exists.
But
both ways,
then she said it's both ways.
Exactly.
So
it's a psychological problem.
Women sometimes have a problem working with each other?
Oh, a lot of women. They have a problem working with each other. And then, like she said, I was going to say that too, it's a mental problem. It's a mental issue. And such women, they sure need, a therapist to attend to them. So, and this happens not only at the lower level, even at the,
Not even in political circles alone.
Not only, even in the offices. You find out that even in your offices here, such things do happen. Petty jealousy, envy, and all that. So these are the reasons for these things. And we have to look beyond that. And, it's not just about the women alone.
Yeah,
even
I
the men,
it won't
they
be
pull themselves
every
down.
woman.
And most of the time, men try to do this divide and rule between the women to ensure that women work against themselves because they know that we have the numerical strength and they need the women to ensure that they achieve what they want. So most of the time, even the men instigate such things amongst the women so that they can have the women to their side. But we are getting over all that now. Women are more matured politically, we are more politically conscious, and we know exactly what we want. And with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we know that we are going places. We are rest assured. We are not even worried about whatever percentage because we know that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows how to put the right pegs in the right hole, whether you are a man or a woman. So we know that the women that are hardworking, that are competent, that are, able to prove themselves, they will definitely get their deserving positions. So we are very confident about that.
And that goes, bringing it back to you, Grace, there is no shortage of women of competence. I was talking about women of substance. There are also, you don't even need to be a researcher to know that women are in just about every field of human endeavor, not just in it, but also in climes that have been acclimatized to such. They lead. They head up the whole setup. How you could just, if you wanted to, begin to count women heads of countries, all over the place. Women's in very important places. So there's no shortage of women. It's just the cultural, perhaps, attitude of our people that, we have to sort of be able to accommodate, right?
Yes. Shopping for sound, articulate women to occupy political offices is not an issue at all in Nigeria. Women over the years have proved their mettle. Women over the years have showcased their talent in every sphere of our endeavor, whether in the business sector, in the manufacturing sector, in the oil sector. Everywhere you find women, they are always standing out. So that brings us down to political offices. And like our President Muhammadu Buhari said yesterday that women have been his most loyal allies in this administration that he is presently leading. And that is very, very critical. I think getting women to do the job is not the issue. It's getting men to understand that they need to put women to do the jobs. Because we're still suffering from these glass ceilings of culture, glass ceilings of religion, in some places. And it's not helping such societies and such communities, because when you underuse your women who have the potential to do certain things, and you overuse the men, and then when a man becomes overused, it becomes stale, and it becomes, so you begin to recycle these men, and the more you recycle men, the less your productivity, the less you get results. So that's results you get. So it is very, very important for our men to understand that the scenario, like I said, is not about competition. It's about getting this job done. We have women with proven track records. We have women that are sound and very articulate. Like I told you, women do not, an office does not make a woman. The woman, makes use of that office. Put a woman in any office, you'll be shocked at the results that you will get.
Okay.
So it is.
And arguably, sorry, Grace. Arguably, yes, women can be very, very persuasive, and I say this in the context of the women presidential campaign team being inaugurated yesterday. I imagine there's a lot of mileage that is expected from that. Communication of women is different.
It is natural. You see, you must understand that there are some natural endowments that God has given to women. A woman in every sphere of endeavor is the best negotiator you can have. Look at the scenario in America. At a point in time, in quick succession in America, they have had females as their Secretary of State. From Albright to my friend Condoleezza Rice to Senator Hillary Clinton, and so on and so forth. America has been able to, establish the fact that women are better negotiators. Women are good in persuading you without using force. These are natural endowments that God has put in us. So the men, Nigeria stands to benefit from all this. And that is why you see a woman will see, if a war is about to break out, you have women as your Minister of Defense, Minister of Security, and so on and so forth. They have the capacity to sit down with you and to look into this issue before the war breaks out very dispassionately. Okay. A woman is a mother. No Indeed. Woman will want a war to break out. But when the men sit down at the decision-making table, they will tell you war is the best option. A woman will tell you, no, we cannot go to war.
If you could see, Kafila in studio smiled a bit at that. Yes. A joke at our expense. But I understand what you're talking about.
A woman would tell her principal, let us not go to war. Let us jaw. Let us dialogue. But the man, because of his nature, will tell you, yes, then we should go to war. They always that. So you need a balancing in this equation. Once there's no balancing, forget it.
I want to thank you very much for making the time for us this morning, Grace Folashade Bent, first female senator elected from northern Nigeria. And I've seen
marital affiliation, based on marital affiliation.
Indeed, based on marital affiliation. You're originally from what? Ilesha, right?
From Osun State, yes.
Osun State,
I was born and raised in Kaduna, So I have what you call a tripartite citizenship in Nigeria. I'm a Kaduna State indigen by birth, by naturalization, no ramifications. If you look at the Nigerian Constitution.
And you are.
So my parents are from Osun State, and I'm married to a man from Adamawa State.
So you look at that tripartite.
That is the scenario.
It definitely is an
Yes.
I want to thank you very much, Grace, for making time for us this morning. Appreciate your coming on the program. Indeed.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. And Kafilat, coming to our studio, that persuasive aspect of the women, I imagine is going to hold all of, APC in very good stead. It is a different communication as Grace was explaining there.
Yes, the activities in the APC, as we see, is very, very prophetic. Because whatever women handle, just take it that it's a done deal. Okay. Look at the rally that the state woman leader organized in Lagos State, Jumoke Okoya Thomas. Look at how the women trooped out.
Okay.
Where you have women, you have the good results. So you are rest assured, you can go to bed that by the grace of God, APC is winning the election in 2023 at all levels.
That's a fine place to leave it. Thank you very much, Kafilat Ogbara, APC candidate, Koshofe constituency for the House of Representatives, former commissioner for in the Lagos State Audit Service Commission, and a women's rights activist. Our appreciation also goes to Grace Folashade Bent, as she explained where she's coming from, first female elected senator from northern Nigeria. That's our program. Thank you very much, ladies, for coming on this morning, adding a ray of sunshine to our program. That's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.